Man, I be praying for my twins, everybody in the tribe, make it to the end. Cause I only give you truth. I pray the Spirit give you juice too. I've been with you through the trials, now I'm with you till you make it, and I never wanna lose you. He said I'm with you to the end. No greater love ever been. Man, I be praying for my twins, everybody in the tribe, make it to the end.
All praises to the Most High. And I ain't letting know. Tell the devil it ain't enough. Nah. I know what you going through. Keep going. I'm sure if they had their way, I been stalling. See, I can see them from a mile away. They in the cut, know how I play. Never been the fool, won't start the day. And I'ma play my part. Much is given, much required. I won't let them treat me out my place. Never got a show. Where I'm from, how they play it hard. Don't know why I thought that it would change. When I came in, it's true. Once you peep the facial loans, then you're cool. The way they play the game, flaw, I never do. Stay in your place, I'm like a paw to these little dudes. And we gon' give most out of praise, he brought me through it. My mind stay like anything, we could do it. We putting work up on this faith and we improve. I tried to tell them I ain't new to this. First we did it, now they doing this. Sticking to the manuscript. I think they follow the blueprint. Elohim sending me, did not go. Tell my enemies to step it up. Tell the devil it ain't a no. Keep on going on and on and on and on and on. I'm fighting. I'm fighting. I ain't letting no. I'm gonna keep on going on and on and on. It ain't a no. And on. Tell the devil it ain't a no. I'm fighting. Look at all what we done been through. We done overcame all that they pretend to. We don't fold, we don't bend. We knew in due time we would overcome. It's like a jungle sometimes. It made me wonder how I keep from going on. Can't experience our world. Most I said look up at the birds, think about it. Call them bird brain, but somehow they maintain. If I do that for them, if for you, don't you think I'ma do the same thing or more? Gratitude, grateful. He said no one gotta support you. I separate. Get two walk together, let's stay agree. Be the hand, I be the knee. Don't matter to me, get on your job, no indeed. Don't wanna hear your sob story, no indeed. Teach you how to live this life for peace. Take the choice, blessings and curses. You know we in the week, and you can't stand next to me if you pretend. Before the 12, we endure to the end. Let's go. I'm fighting. Yes, sir. I'm fighting. It's the most going on and on and on.
more than just songs. Yeah, what if the villains that Batman was killing was more than just fiction? And we discovered that the world that they lived in was ours. And they were writing all the songs for the stars. Would you still buy and feed them applause? Or would you stand by and worship in awe of the gold chains that represent the new slavery, just like the masses do? The genius is a byproduct of ghosts, either their writers or the spirits that be feeding them notes to rap to you. K-Dot came out and said it, your spirit medium. The question is, which spirit feeding them and which spirit leading them? And will you let that spirit speak to you? Do these objectives help the people or the people who be creeping through and pulling strings like Geppetto to compromise the masses through influence of the ghetto? This is how they pay homage. They name stars after they gods and fake God. We used to look up to the stars. We would treat them like our God. They could never do no wrong for us. These are more than just songs for us. We used to look up to the stars. We would treat them like our God. They could never do no wrong for us. These are more than just songs. Yeah, what if the planets and stars are really spirits and gods? And we discovered that all reality a facade. And every image and every movie is paying homage to ancient national gods. This ain't a theory, it's obvious. Babylon, they repackaging gods to us. Nike from Mount Olympus, the golden protecting Prague. Santa is really Satan, Columbia is their God, bringing light to the nations. His name Drake and his game Fate. Looking at the etymology, his name Snake. Rick Ross took a brother name, lied to the world about selling cane and garner fame, and now we guard the gate. While K. Osiris took his name from papyrus artifacts and reliefs and brought it back to the streets. Now whenever kids listening to CDs, they paying their respects to the God of the deceased. Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 15. Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude on the day that the Lord spake unto you in horror out of the midst of the fire. Lest you corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female, the likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flieth in the air, the likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth. And lest thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun, the moon, and the stars, even all the host of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them and serve them, which the Lord thy God hath divided unto all the nations under the whole heaven. But the Lord thy God hath taken you and brought you forth from the iron furnace, even out of Egypt, to be unto him a people of inheritance, as you are this day. We used to look up to the stars. We would treat them like our God. They could never do no wrong for us. These are more than just songs for us.
Morris Production.
Brother Jonathan got bars, man. He got bars. But he always making slow music, man. Wanna pray to his music and meditate. He can't get hype, man. Sometimes I wanna get hype for the Lord. Come on, man.
Blood on the post, 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 keeping them close. Man, we got fringes and seats on the clothes. Me and my brothers ain't sleeping, we reading the secrets. The deepest you've been is the ocean. Now we been swimming in waters that's deeper than rivers to Jordan. We creeping up on them. It's the 14th of the month. Bone Thugs one day late for the show. Oh, ain't never been out ever since Red Pen Pals. You too late, you let them in now. We like veterans, niggas that's power. These secrets only come through steady, no regrets. We walk through water like Jesus. We raising the dead, you see this. Look at this.
All right. Shalom. How you guys doing tonight? This is your brother Benyamia of Benyamia AHOS, come to bring you guys another Friday class. So I'm by myself right now for the moment. All right, just waiting for brothers to hop on. Right, but this lesson today is called by his name, but my name, however you want to put it. I think was a typo, but called by his name. Right. So I wanted to just briefly touch on just this phrase, right? Called by his name. So when you're called by his name, who's the his we're talking about right now, right? Now, the his, we all know is the Most High, right? So I'm trying to give a understanding of the meaning of being called by his name, right? But I'm gonna do it in a symbolic way, right? So let's I'm gonna get a scripture real quick, but before I get that, as a disclaimer, the way that this lesson is gonna go, it's not to point fingers or blame or anybody. This is just me speaking it as it is from what I see in the scripture. All right. So I'm gonna get the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, right, verse 2. So it says, "For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself, above all nations that are upon the earth." So the Most High chose us to be a nation, basically set apart, a peculiar treasure unto himself, right? He singled us out, right? So now we caught the Most High's eye. He's eyeing us down, right? So in a sense, you can see that the Most High likes us. He cares about us, right? He wants to make us his, right? So now, what can a man give unto a woman? Let's just look at it like this. What could a man give unto a woman, right? That's that whole significance, okay? And that is giving her his name, right? So the Most High saw us, right, through our forefather Jacob, right, and we were given the Most High's name, right, through our forefather Jacob, right. So let's look at that in scripture, right. I'm gonna go to the book of Genesis, right, chapter 32. We get there real quick. So let's see. Genesis 32, and I'm going to start at verse 24. All right. So this is the book of Genesis, chapter 32, verse 24. "And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint, as he wrestled with him. And he said, Let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, What is thy name?" When you get into a relationship with somebody, you gotta at least know their name, right? You can't just, hey, you mind? Just come with me and just walk away. You have to build a relationship. You have to understand who that person is, okay? So when we see this, right, the one that Jacob is wrestling with, you could look at that as going through trials and tribulation, as well, like in a symbolic way, right? Basically, going through the perseverance within pursuing somebody, courting somebody, right? So it says here in verse 27, "What is thy name?" And he said, Jacob, right? Verse 28, "And he said, Thy name shall be no more called Jacob, So now what's happening here, right? The Most High now is saying like, nah, that may be your given name, but this is the name I'm going to give you, right? This means that nobody else on the earth has this name outside of the Most High, right? And he's now going to endow his name upon Jacob. Okay? So now he says, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and hast prevailed. Right? So we teach that, the name of Israel or Yasher Allah is the prince of the power with God. Right? So we are the princes that have the power with God because we prevailed against all the trials and tribulations that, can be put to us. We will always prevail. We will always persevere, right? There is strength in our name because because he was called by the Most High's name, right? So now, and verse 29, and Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name? And he blessed him there. So now Jacob wants to now know who he was struggling with, who he is striving with, right? But Jacob got blessed. Like at this point, Jacob is in a position that no other man on earth is in, right? He is there with the Most High. He is in position with the Most High. He is in league with the Most High as a relationship. So, but Jacob, when he asked the angel his name, it was him trying to pursue back. He said, yes, you can pursue me. I will pursue back. I want to know who you are. And this is when in our walk, we have to always strive to know the Most High more and more, right? So we know him through his laws that he's given us, right? As a heritage, right? We know him more and more by the practicing of those laws, right? Because that's the wisdom that he gave unto us, right? So we have to look at it in that frame of reference as well, right? So I know I came straight out the gate with this, but I promise you, stay with me. Got a point with all this, right? I'm just trying to build it right now. All right. But let me just take a second, right? Just drop a 7 in the chat. Just let me know if you're all with me. And make sure when y'all come into the building, like and subscribe if you haven't to the channel, support ministry. Right? Let me see them 7s in the chat real quick, just to see, who's here with me, so I know who I'm talking to. All right. Adriana Israel. Okay. Johanna Israel. All right. Glad to know y'all. At least 2 people here listening to me. I appreciate that. Because regardless of I prophesy to the wind. Right. Hey, Shalom, be like aunt. Shalom, King. Right. So kind. Right. So I'm just let the 7s fill in. Right. Shows even the viewers giving me a 7. So, okay. So now, like I was saying, Jacob strived with the angel, right? So, and it always puts into my mind the book of Sirach, right? Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 2, right? Verse 1. Right? It's a classic scripture, but it always holds true to a lot of things that we go through, right? So this is the book of Sirach, chapter 2, verse 1. And it says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Right? So now, remember now, I said, well, not me, but the scripture has said that Jacob was, he basically was striving against the angel. Like he was he was like basically wrestling with the angel, right? So that's, you could look at that as, you know, all the ups and downs, right? Trying to make sure that his life is moving in the right direction, stuff like that. Same thing, when you come to serve the Lord, you have to prepare your soul, your spirit, to enter into these temptations that will come. I taught a lesson a while back. Have you ever been considered by God? God, right? He considers those he loves and who loves him, right? Because when you, so when you have a, like, let's think about it like this. You know, when you have your parents gloating about you, right? You like the favorite child. They all say, "Oh yeah, so Benyamin man, Benyamin is this, Benyamin is that." You know what I'm saying? And you know, they show a lot of care and consideration in you, right? Because if anyone came and say something about you, say, "No, not my son, not my daughter, cannot be." You understand? Because you set a name for yourself in your parents' mind. Same thing, right? We're setting our, the Most High is setting our sights. Sorry, is the Most High is setting His sights on us because we are, Slakia, we're doing something that pleases Him, right? Same as a child pleasing his parents, right? By doing the things that they must. So let's keep going. Where we at? So it says, verse 3 of Sirach 2, it says, "Cleave unto him," right? He's wrestling an angel. If you wrestle him, all you holding on tight, because you ain't trying to, you know, get thrown to the ground, right? So cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou may be increased at thy last end. What did happen when Jacob strived, when he um, cleaved unto the angel and he held him until morning? He didn't let go. Look at that, right? You will be increased at your last end, same way that Jacob was, right? He got his name changed. He got power, right? He was able to go through all types of travailing, right? That's one of our strengths. That's why they can't destroy us as a people, because we can handle that type of pressure, that type of stress, right? So now let's jump back, right? So we have to understand also, to the Most High, we are His possession, right? Because now we're married to the Most High. The Most High has given us His name, right? So that now that's a marriage, right? So let's get the book of Isaiah, right? Chapter 54, and I'm gonna do verse 5, right? So as a bride or as a wife to the Most High, we have to act accordingly, right? So let's see, Isaiah 54 and verse 5. All right, here you go. So this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 5. "For thy maker is thine husband, the Lord of hosts is thy Slakia, and the Lord of hosts is his name, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, the God of the whole earth shall he be called," right? We also have another one in Hosea, right? Let's go to the book of Hosea real quick. And I'm going to go to the book of Hosea, chapter 2, verse 19. And it reads, "And I will betroth thee unto me forever. I will betroth thee unto me in righteousness and in judgment and in loving kindness and in mercies. I will even betroth thee unto me in faithfulness and thou shalt know the Lord. Right? So we are married, right? The fold that we're in is the husbandman is the Most High, right? So as a wife, we are commanded to do and be obedient to the Most High's will and His wishes, right? Because Iraq he gives us some wisdom as to what a wife is, right? So he says a wife is like a possession, right? We're the possession of the Most High, right? So we have His name, right? So that us being a possession of Him comes with what, right? Comes with protection, right? Comes with wisdom, right? Guidance, right? What other things could being in possession come with? Can anyone tell me in the chat? Like if you're a possession to somebody, right? You got protection, right? You got guidance, right? Guidance or wisdom. What's something else that you can get? Does anybody know the answer? Hey, shalom, Kunal. Oh, Kowal, let's lock it. But can anyone give me a third reason, right? Shabbat Shalom. First officer knock in the building, right? So what's the third one? So I gave protection, guidance. Give me another one. Let me just see if y'all was paying attention, right? And I promise y'all again, I am going somewhere with this, right? So Salaki, if the build-up takes a little bit longer than some would like, right? But for the question, you get protection, guidance, and love, right? Because for one, you can protect the thing that you value. For two, if you have something, you're going to make sure you use it correctly, right? You're going to make sure that you guide it in the way it needs to go so that it stays safe, right? So that's another aspect of protection. But then another thing is you're going to love the thing that you're protecting and guiding. You have to have some care and consideration for it, right? So let's go back to the point of that Jacob was in travail, right? So again, I'm gonna say he clung to the Most High no matter what. So I need y'all to understand. This is defining, right, in parallelism, what we should be or how we should be with the Most High, right? And the structure in which he's presenting that Jacob is doing with the Most High, that same structure applies across the board. So whether you have a husband and a wife, right? Even a master and a servant, you should be doing the same thing, right? So now we're going to go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 45. I'm going to start at verse 3. Let's get there real quick. All right, Khan. So this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 3. And I will give thee the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I, the Lord, which called thee by thy name, am the God of Israel. And I'm going to read that again. Slakia. And I will give thee the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I, the Lord, which called thee by thy name, am the Lord God of Israel. So we have to know that the Most High is only our God, right, and none else. So we have a so we are in a special position now, right? Because we get now that protection, we get that guidance, right? So we get the protection. So say again, we get a protection through the following the laws because the laws keep us safe. We get guidance because of the law as well because the, the law leads us in the right direction, and we get love because now the Most High has given us one and two so that we can be safe and we are wise enough to guide our lives. Sorry, it's like guide our lives correctly, right? So let's look now, right, at through the love, guidance, and protection that the Most High has given us, right? So we can always find that back in Deuteronomy, right? So we bring this chapter out basically all the time when we go to camp, right? But we always talk about the second half of it. So let's look at the first half, right? So this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. And we're going to start at verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth, right? So he's already now showing us his love, right? By placing us on top of all the earth, all the nations on the earth, right? And it says if we observe to do all of his commandments, right? So that means we follow his guidance, right? And then these are the protections that he's going to put in place. Let's read on in verse 2. And all these blessings shall come and all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Blessed shall be thou in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, and the increase of thine kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Right? So now, through all the love, the guidance, protection, we're giving blessings, we're giving gifts, right? For our obedience, right? Obedience is another trait that a wife must show to her husband, right? She must be loyal to her husband, right? She has to show due benevolence to her husband. So us as Israel, being married to the Most High, must do the same, right? We must show that loyalty. We must show that benevolence, right? We must humble ourselves, right? We have to move in humility. We can't just be like, oh yeah, we're the best nation on the earth. The Most High loves us. Da, da, da. No, we're not boasting, right? So one thing in wisdom, right? It says in the book of Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 2, right? It says, um, man, see, now I forgot it. I gotta go get it real quick. So this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 2. Let another man praise thee, and not thine own mouth. A stranger, and not thy own lips. Right? That's humility right there. Have somebody else praise you. Right? Don't. Oh yeah, man. I'm the best person around here. I'm this. I'm that. Nah. The Most High resists the proud. He gives grace unto the humble. Right? We want to be on that. We want to be on that end of the Most High giving us that blessing because of our humility. Right? Even though we are the greatest nation on the earth, we have to be the most humblest nation on the earth. because we have the power in our hands. We have the Most High delegating everything for us. All we owe to Him is to be obedient, right? So let's get back to Deuteronomy 28, right? So verse 4. Verse 5. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out. So when we come in and go out, we're basically protected. We're provided for, right? The Most High is nurturing us through our obedience, right? By giving us the things in which we need, right? Let me jump down real quick. So, reading all this down to 14 basically is saying it all, right? So I'm going to jump down to verse 10. And all the people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee. So I'm going to read that again. Verse 10. And all the people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee. There's power in the name. And we used to hear that back in the Christian church. There's power in that name. So why would you want to be called by any other name? But sadly, Israel went after idols, right? We started to worship other gods, part of us, right? So now we have to realize that being loyal to the name, being obedient to the name, will get us these blessings that was stated here in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1 down to 14. Right? But if we are not in the obedience, we will get now curses. Right? I'm going to jump to Deuteronomy 15, right? 28 and 15. Right? So it says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all of his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. There's a price to pay for disobedience, right? We cannot be called by his name, right? And thinking that we could do whatever we want to do. Because, say as a woman, you are with a man, and that man is of a certain stature, and he doesn't tolerate certain behaviors. So you saying that you can just act any type of way around him, knowing that he doesn't like certain behaviors? No, because you ain't gonna have that man for long. He will drop you. You know what I'm saying? Because if he's a man of principles, he's going to stand by it, right? Regardless of what the loss would be. Now, the Most High, he's made a covenant with our forefathers, Jacob, Isaac, Abraham, and it's a perpetual covenant that will last forever. Now, in this period that we're in right now, the Most High has removed himself from us, right? But he's given us Christ to bring us back closer to him, right? Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom, kahalo, yahabashim, yoshabrakata. Can you hear me? Is it breaking up? Or?
Right? But like I was, you might put. Okay. So I got you. Okay. So where was I? Yes. So we have to be. We still have to move in obedience. We still have to move in obedience to the Most High, right? And move in His ways, right? If not, we're sullying the name. We can't be moving around the city and be like, And that's the Most High wife over there. Why is she running with those dudes over here? She knows she should know better. I thought he didn't tolerate so and so or doing that type of thing. Why is she out there dressed like that? Why is she playing the whore? Why is she with some other guys? You understand? What you think the Most High should do, right? It says it in the law. Hey, Yahweh Dawah, give me the law on adultery, right?
Okay, con.
Right? Because she out on the street running rampant. She doing whatever she wants to do. She acting like she ain't got that name that holds all this reference on the earth, right? You know what I'm saying? So like you can't move like that when you're married to the Most High, when you have His name, right? You got it, King?
Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 10. And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death.
Right. So now the judgment of that is death, right? So us being the wife, we're playing the whore with somebody else, right? What you think should happen to us? We should technically die, right? That's what the law says. The Most High had removed Himself from us, but because he still has love for us, so He gave us Yahushua to become that sacrifice for our sins, so that we could be bid back into the marriage through Him. That's love. I can't sully my name by coming back and reaching out my hand, but I can give you a redeemer who who has never sinned, who has um, who has done all my requirements, right? Who has loved me as I require to be loved, right? Whoever He loves, I'm a rock with. Whoever follows Him, I'm going to rock with because I trust Him. And that's the plight that we're not even the plight. That's the situation that we're in now, right? We have Yahushua as our king, right? So in a sense, we also married unto Yahushua because now He is our king. He is our bridegroom that we're waiting on to get bid back into the marriage, right? He's that bridegroom that we, as the virgins, make sure that we have oil in our lamp for. So we have to realize that we just can't be moving any type of way, not now being bid back into the marriage, right? Because we were called, because even Christ is called by the name of the Most High. So if we're married unto Christ too, we're still called by the Most High's name, right? So, so going back into the things that the Most High does for us, right? Get me the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 13, right? So for one, the Most High protects, right? So with the Most High protecting us, that means that we should have safety once we are, obeying His commandments, doing the things that He wants us to do, as shown back in Deuteronomy 28, right? And also on top of that, we will garner respect and fear by the other nations. You got that? You got that, Exodus, King?
Con.
Let me hear that.
Exodus chapter 14 and verse 13.
Uh-huh.
And Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still, and see the salvation of the Lord, which He will show to you today. For the Egyptians whom ye have seen today, ye shall see them again no more forever.
So the Most High removes problems out of our lives once we're with Him, right? He ensures that we don't have to worry about the things of this world, right? Because the Most High, if we have him on our side fighting for us, who could stand up against us, right? The scripture says that if the Most High is with us, who can be against us? You know. Let's get the book of Micah, chapter 7, verse 16. So now this is all in that protection, right? That protection that the Most High gives us, and now through that protection, the other nations see this, and they feel some type of way. Who could stand up against us, right? You read when you got it, King.
Okay, come. Micah chapter 7 and verse 16. The nations shall see and be confounded at all their might. They shall lay their hand upon their mouth, their ears shall be deaf.
Mm-hmm. So the nation's going to not be able to say anything against us. They'll be so astounded that they're like, dang. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't have a comment, because now even if they feel like they say something, they gone too. You know what I mean? Because now the power that is with us has the power to consume them as well if they fall from behind. Right? Let's get the book of Revelation chapter 15, verse 4. Right?
Okay, come. Revelation chapter 15 and verse 4. Who shall not fear thee, O Lord, and glorify thy name? For thou only art holy, for all nations shall come and worship before thee, for thy judgments are made manifest.
So now all the nations shall come and serve before thee. Right? This is at the end of the book. So we are in that new kingdom now, right? So if all the nations is coming to serve before us, that means by saying that we're in that position, we're in that position of power next to the Most High, right? We're in that judgment seat that we can now rule over all the nations. Because why? The nations cannot stand against the Most High and Yahweh. They cannot stand. So now, because we are called by His name, that name has power, right? I'm just hitting some quick points, and crazy as it seems, I still building this because the main point of this whole class is more than what I'm saying right now, right? So now let's look at some other things as a wife. So being obedient. Let me get the book of 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 20, right? So the Most High is the husband, we are the wife, right? Let's look how the Most High views obedience, right? Because
First Samuel.
yeah, kind of. You go ahead, read it. Go ahead.
Okay, come. First Samuel chapter 15 and verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
And Samuel said, hath the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams.
Right. So the Most High just wants us to obey. Right. He just wants us to obey. As his wife, he wants us just to be obedient to his word, do his law, statutes, and commandments, do his feasts, keep his Sabbaths. You understand? Keep his laws. That's all he wants us to do, is just to obey. But hey, we always can find a way to mess it up, right? That's why he said, like, I'll have to put the law in your hearts now. And we won't have to teach anybody again to come serve. We won't have to teach our brothers to come serve the Lord again. You know what I'm saying? But because a lot of us went away from him to play the harlot, right? We have allowed the Most High to move further away from us, right? Because the Most High sees us as a collective, not individuals, right? Because the Most High has put laws in place, right, to stop him from getting in that position. We are supposed to be our brother's keeper, right? Give me the book of Leviticus, chapter 17, verse 19. And then I'm gonna move to Ezekiel 3, 17 and 18. Right?
Talaki, could you say that one time? I missed the first portion.
Okay, Khan. Let me get the book of Leviticus 17 and 19.
Okay, Khan.
Right? And then we're going to go to Ezekiel 3, 17 and 18, right?
You mean 1917?
That one. 1917.
Okay, Con. All right, it's all good. Okay, Con. And then
Just seeing
Leviticus.
if
Because I literally went to Leviticus 17. I was like, I don't think there's 19.
yeah.
Okay, Con.
Just look.
Leviticus. Oh, Salaki.
No, go ahead.
Okay, Con. Leviticus 19 and verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
Right? So now we're supposed to not suffer sin upon our brothers and our sisters. We're not supposed to allow them to go into sin. But because a lot of us did, right? The Most High had to move away from us because sin cannot stand before the Most High. So if us as a nation was in sin, the Most High cannot be close to us. You know what I mean? And so when we got into sin, Slav, you just lost my train of thought. Yeah, when we got into sin, the Most High said, "Yeah, I have to depart from y'all, right? But I love y'all so much, I will make a way out, right?" So now let's go to Ezekiel chapter 3, right, and 17, because now this is what we were supposed to do. As a good wife, we were supposed to do that. So us as a bad wife, we were suffering sin upon our brothers. We were allowing them to go off. We were allowing them to sin, right? And let's see what happens when we do that, right? Go ahead, King.
Con. Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me.
Right? Keep going. Keep going, King.
Okay, Con. Verse 18. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor spakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand.
So right now our hands are bloody. It's bloody. And the Most High ain't want no blood on him. You understand? Because he's given us a command. He's given us a duty to make sure that our brothers do not die in their sin. Right? Well, like we read in 1 Samuel chapter 15, he only wants us to be obedient. But because we were not being obedient, he fell away from us. He moved away from us. Right? We are still called by his name. But I can't really deal with you because y'all sullying my name right now. So I need to show that, hey, I can't, for my name's sake, I can't be around that sin that y'all doing. Right? So now it comes to this whole dilemma of can a man serve two masters? You know? Let's analyze that. Can a man serve two masters? Can you be loyal to your husband and loyal to another man? You know what I'm saying? That right there gets you up out of this place real quick. You feel me? That'll get you up out of this place real quick. Right? Let's get the book of Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. It's a funny thought, but it's a serious question. You know what I'm saying? It's a serious question. Because
Matthew.
let's see what the Bible says about serving two masters. Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 6 and verse 24. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon.
Cannot serve God and man. The Most High don't tolerate cheating. Right? See what I'm saying? You cannot serve him as his wife, and then yet we worship in money. We worship in the things of this world. That's why we have to cast off all the traditions of the world cannot be with us, right? We cannot abide in a place that is not covered by the Most High, that is not moving in the will of the Most High, right? So now, as a wife, we have to be loyal to him. We have to be obedient to him, right? That just goes without saying, right? So now, so I'm like I said, I'm setting this up, right? Because now I'm going to make a parallelism, right, of us as Israel to the Most High, and a normal situation being a man and his wife, right? Because I'm going to show a few videos, right, and we're going to talk about them because this is something that's been on my mind for a while, right, and it's something that is actually still common today in Israel. So we can look at that. So now, as a husband, you're also commanded to teach your wife, right? Granted, the Most High gave us the law, statutes, commandments, right? He gave us His Spirit to also train us in the ways of discipline, right? Let's get the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 25 and 26, right? Mhm. Because you can't just think that your wife will know it all, you right? Your wife won't just understand everything that you want her to understand. You have to teach her sometimes because she can't read your mind. You got it, King?
Come. Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 25.
Uh-huh.
Husbands, love your wives, even as Yahushua also loved the church and gave himself for it.
All right. So, as a husband, that's a duty for us. We are commanded to love our wives, which the Most High does. He loves us, and He is He set up um, a redeemer for us, right, to save us through the giving of His life. He's fulfilled His own law, right? He's doing His duty. Keep going. You got 26 still.
Come. Verse 26. That he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word.
So that He makes what? Sanctified and what?
And cleanse it
Right.
with the washing of the word, washing of water by the word. Salaki.
Mm-hmm. Yahweh, you know what that water is?
Come.
Give me a precept on that real quick.
Let me see.
You gotta keep these brothers sharp on the soil, man.
I'm trying to see which one I wanna give.
Oh man, you got more than one. Okay.
Yeah. Let me see. I'll do John 15 and 3.
Okay, let's see.
And John chapter 15 and verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
And it reads, Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I can rock with that. All right. So I was looking at more symbolically what that washing is doing, right? Because it said of the washing of water by the word,
Okay.
right? So what's that washing? What type of is that? What is that water, right? That's basically what I wanted to understand. So get the book of Sirach, chapter 15, verse 3.
Okay, kind of.
Oh, that's crazy. You said John 15:3, right?
Right, yeah,
Oh, that's
kind
crazy. That's crazy.
of. All right, Sirach chapter 15 and verse 3. With the bread of understanding shall she feed him and give him the water of wisdom to drink.
That water of wisdom. That's what that water is. That washing of that water is like you washing that person with wisdom. Because remember now, wisdom, where it says in Job 28:28, it says the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom. And apart from evil is understanding. So now if you have wisdom, right? That's the longing of an understanding. That's the practicing of understanding. You've done these laws and statutes and commandments so long, and you understand them well, right? You gain wisdom, right? So you know how to depart from evil. So you would not go to the left or to the right, right? But kind of, that's a brief side tip. Let me get the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 34, right? And while you're getting that, let me start preloading these videos because we're going to jump into.
You said 1 Corinthians 14,
14 and 34.
14 and 24?
34.
34, okay, Salaki. All right, I'm ready when you are.
Go ahead.
Okay, 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 34. Let your woman keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law.
Right? So that obedience is coming back, right? The wife is commanded to be under obedience. Now, again, us being the wife of the Most High, right? Wife of Yahushai too. We are commanded to be obedient, right? So now, is that the case now within Israel? I think it's far from that at this point. Let me try to get these videos situated real quick. But give me your take on what I'm saying right now. While I'm getting these videos up, King.
Salaki, you said give you a take.
Yeah, give me your take on what I'm saying right now.
So, okay, Salaki. So basically, we just basically tackling the title of the washing of the word. I got some more precepts actually to expound more on that, and then how that kind of goes into basically the woman being in subjection. Okay, Con. Just want to make sure I was on point. So yeah, a perfect precept, honestly, I would say would be Psalms 19 and verse 7. I feel like let me get it real quick.
I'll call it again. I read it.
Oh, Con. Okay.
What you call it again?
Psalms 19 and verse 7.
Psalm 90.
Salakia 19 and verse 7.
Oh, 19. Okay,
Con.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 19, verse 7. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise and simple.
Con. So basically, and I would say from a wider perspective, not even just for sisters, but brothers too. The book of Sirach, for an example, says not to give yourself as a man over to a light woman. So when you're not keeping these laws, commandments, and statutes, you are simple. It's just what it is. And the more you grow through the spirit, the more that you keep these commandments, the more that the Most High blesses you with understanding and wisdom, you'll understand the drastic difference between, wow, I really was simple. I did not see the forest for the trees. I only saw the outer layer of life. I only understood the outer layer of, everything that was pretty much presented to me versus everything underlying that actually exists. Like, for an example, understanding that you're Israelite. That's just, a big concept within itself. Like, wow, hold on, what? I thought I was African American, So, to get back to the topic, that water, that wisdom of the word, when you're keeping the laws, commandments, and statutes, that's gonna cleanse you, which means knocks the filthiness off of your spirit. You're literally being cleaned up so that you can be holy and set apart. And in doing so, you'll be able to recognize what your filthiness was versus you in your spirit being clean. So, and in doing so, as that transformation happens within itself, it says the testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise and simple, which means your spirit, you yourself are going to be a living testimony from going from simple to wise as your soul is being converted and being cleaned by the washing of the word, by keeping the laws, commandments, and statutes, if that makes any sense. So that's definitely what I would like to add. Just whether you're a wife or wanted to be a wife, or whether you're a brother wanted to be a lord, and a husband to a woman or multiple women, man and woman are going to have to go through this process, if the Most High calls you to. So, yeah, kind of.
All praises. What, King?
Nah, no problem.
How
you on the bone?
Could you see the screen okay? My video?
Con.
All right. So now I'm going to play this video, right? And I want y'all to listen to the dialogue between this, and let's analyze this real quick, because this is the point of what I'm bringing up, right? Because as we are wife to the Most High, right? He has given us commandments, right? Of how a husband should be to a wife, and how a wife should be to a husband, right? So let's look at this first one. Let's reload this. And I'm gonna play this once again.
Do you still carry R. Kelly's last name due to the fact that you know what he's in jail for? Your kids are grown. Girl, you don't need it. How do you feel when people say that?
What you feel? I don't. At the end of the day, I earned this name in blood, sweat, and tears. It's my kid's name. And my analogy is this. When all hit the fan, how would you feel if your name is Brown and your kid's name is Brown and your family goes through something, you tell your kids, oop, you were Brown by yourself, I'm out. I don't want, no. If my kids have to go through it as Kelly, they mama going through it as Kelly. If you had to put up with the bull as Kelly, I'm going to make sure that I take the tarnish off this name and you live and celebrate the name Kelly. At the end of the day, people shouldn't be worried about why I kept the last name. They should be worried about what I do with the last name, because the last name Kelly gets 20 to follow me. The last name Kelly gets me on CNN to talk about domestic violence awareness and be an advocate. The last name Kelly allowed me to go on military bases and talk about abuse. The last name Kelly had me go to universities. And here's the real gag. Boo, if my name wasn't Kelly, you wouldn't even care. My name means more to you than it does to me. Because Miss Jones is going through the same thing I'm going through right now. Miss White is going through it. Miss Anderson is going through it. But y'all don't care about it. Y'all not on her page commenting. You're not trying to be an advocate. You're being nosy. Why? Because my last name is Kelly. So again, you shouldn't worry about why I kept the last name. You should be celebrating what I do with the last name. And there's a lot of y'all out here who's giving y'all kids' last name to a baby daddy that don't claim you or the kids.
All right. So now
I got a precept already.
You got plenty of precepts for this, right? So now, looking at this, right, we have Drea Kelly, right, explaining why she still has her husband's last name. When a man finds a wife, right, Scripture says he finds a good thing, right? He finds a help like unto himself. She's a helpmeet, right? So now, we all know R. Kelly is in prison for was it sexual misconduct? I forgot what it is, right? I really don't follow those type of news like that. But he's in jail for all of his past deeds, his misconduct in the past, right? And R. Kelly has damaged his career, but he's done so much in the in his career to garner love and fame by a lot of people, right? So now, so she's saying instead of shunning her husband and dropping his name, she kept it to rebuild it, right? Now, I'll say this, regardless of all the aesthetics of what her keeping his name does, right? Think about it like this, right? And I don't want to say that the Most High could ever, do this or whatever, but you know, as a nation of people, if we had the same drive that she has to make the name of her husband great, we would have never needed Messiah. We would have been keeping the laws. We would have been doing all the things that we did, right? This is what Israel would have been perfected. This is what the new covenant is doing right now. Oh, sorry, this is what the new covenant is doing for us, right? We would not have to tell everybody to serve the Lord. We would love the Most High. We would love the laws in our hearts. We would be proud to have His name. We would be proud to utilize His name and show the goodness throughout the earth. Because that's what she's doing. She's using His name on here and there and everywhere, right? Talking about it, talking about her experiences, and trying to, well, like in her words, trying to make a positive situation. So now, would women nowadays do that? That's not the husband ain't R. Kelly. Husband is regular Joe down the road, right? You married regular Joe down the road. Are you keeping his last name? You understand? Like if Joe went to the prison just like R. Kelly went to prison, right? You telling me you can sit back and keep his name? A lot of women, they'd be the minute the cell door closed behind you, boy, they doing something else, right? Because Joe down the road, he got a bid for 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Kind. So what Kenneth just said, right? Kind. And that's the aesthetics of it, right? So the point of I ain't saying she's pious. I'm not saying that she's moving in righteousness or anything she's doing. But I am saying if what she was saying had any bit of truth in it about how she's trying to rebuild the reputation of her husband, out of care, love, and consideration for him, this is what a wife should be doing, right? We all know that smoke and mirrors that she's talking about, right? So, but the thing is, as a wife, needs to be obedient and loyal towards their husband, because this is a debt to you part type of thing, right? Let's get a couple precepts real quick, right? Let's get the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 3. That's a classic, right?
Okay.
Stay in that part just a little bit. No, actually, no. We probably go to Romans after that.
Okay, Con, I got it.
You got it.
Con. 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Yahushua, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Yahushua is Yahweh.
Right? So now, as a man, as a husband, no, it's lucky. I hear some background. Is that me? Hold on, let me mute that. It ain't you. It's that it's a screen share. So as a man, sorry, it's lucky again. As a husband, we are to be the head of our wives, right? We are the ones put up in charge of them, right? We are the ones that are supposed to take the lead, show them, protect them, love them, guide them, right? And in turn, they're supposed to be obedient unto us, right? Show through their humbleness, through their care, their consideration, right? A woman does a facet of things for a man, right? Things that we don't even think about doing. You know what I mean? A woman is a special treasure. And when you find a good woman, it's like finding a ruby, a priceless ruby. You know what I'm saying? And then, so now going back to this video, right? She may be wanting to keep her husband's name, but she's doing it for all the wrong reasons. Like Kenneth said, she just saw it as an opportunity to build her own empire. So now she's ready. She's doing that through lies and deception, right? So now, but at the same time, like I said, let's take the situation and slide it and say this is regular old Joe Smo, right? You got a 30-year bid. I don't think any regular chick would want to just sit around for 30 years waiting on your boy to get out, right? What you think? What you think about that, Yahweh?
Con, I agree.
Right? So just be honest, because he got money. Well, R. Kelly still got money. He got some clout. You know, she finds a purpose in it, right? But regardless of what the man's situation is, a woman's still supposed to be loyal to her husband. And let's get the book of Romans chapter 7, right? We're gonna read verse 2, right? Because a lot of I don't know why Israel thinks that because you over there and I over here means that the law don't apply. There's no distance that could stop the law from being in effect. Because if I was in China and my wife was in California and she lays with another man while I'm in China, she still committed adultery. You know what I'm saying? So the law, distance doesn't affect the law. You got that, King?
Con. Romans chapter 7 and verse 1. Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law, how that the law hath dominion over a man as long as he liveth.
So let's read that again.
Romans chapter 7 and verse 1. Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law, how that the law hath dominion over a man as long as he liveth.
As long as he liveth. As long as he liveth. If regardless of where you at, you're still under the law. Read on.
Verse 2. For the woman which hath an husband is bound by the law to her husband so long as he liveth. But if the husband, be dead, she is loosed from the law of her husband.
Nah. As long as
She is loosed from the law of her husband.
you could have me, King. Stop here.
You said read it again?
Going in and out.
Yeah, it's like your audio low key went out.
Yeah, start again. I think my screen was
Okay, calm. Verse 2. For the woman which hath an husband is bound by the law to her husband so long as he liveth. But if the husband be dead, she is loosed from the law of her husband.
Slow down. So it says as long as he liveth, not as long as he is free and walking around, or he could get to you by car, or if he lived down the street. No, as long as he liveth, regardless of where he's at, right? You are still bound to him. Oh, but we separated. Oh yeah, y'all separated. Funny. Let's go. Let's hold that. Let's go to First Corinthians. Let's go back to First Corinthians, right? And you go to chapter 7 in First Corinthians, and we're gonna go to verse. Was it 14? No. Go to verse 10.
1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 10. Con. 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 10. And unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord. Let not the wife depart from her husband.
Hold on. Not I, but who?
Not I, but the Lord. Let
Lord.
not the wife depart from her husband.
The same Paul's words. This is the Lord's word. Let not the wife depart from her husband. So that means that there ain't no distance on this earth that could really separate you from your husband. Right? According to the law. There's no situation, you know what I'm saying, that could separate you from your husband unless he releases you through divorce. But even then, that has stipulations. Because the husband has to find some uncleanness in you for even it to be legal. Right? Okay, read on, verse 11.
Verse 11. But, and if she depart, let her remain unmarried or be reconciled to her husband, and let not the husband put away his wife.
Two options, right? You could depart for a time, right? And then you come back and be reconciled to your husband. Sorry, no, so like you have to, if you depart from your husband, you have to remain unmarried, right? Because you can't marry another man unless your husband gives you a bill of divorce. And the bill of divorce has to be a legal bill of divorce because you have to have done something that warranted that divorce, right? But it also says that you're supposed to be reconciled, right? As well until back to your husband. You separate for a time and then you become reconciled back. So that means that you need to work it out. You have to work it out. You know what I mean? So, but we, even us as the husband, we're commanded not to put y'all away. We can't just be like, oh, she won't leave me, I'm gonna just put her away. Nah, we can't do that. All right. So now, so that's video number one. You got any more? You have some precepts you want to bring? Okay. While I get the second video loaded up.
I mean, you know what? I do have a precept, but I don't know if you hit that point already in Matthew 25. Or I don't know if that was gonna be one of your precepts.
I'll bring it out. You got it.
Okay, come on. Let me go ahead and grab it real quick. And it goes to the point that you was making about the water or the washing of the word too, and how the husband is supposed to assist in washing her. I would bring out Matthew chapter 25 and verse 1. And it reads, Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. So I brought this precept out because a lot of people, they oftentimes are very familiar with the bride, but nobody really puts emphasis on the bridegroom. And what is the primary function of the bridegroom or the future husband? Is to groom her and assist in her being groomed to be a wife, just like how Adam had to till the ground or did husbandry. That's what husbands have to do as well. They have to assist and or help prep the bride to be a wife. So the same way that Adam had to water the ground or to attend to, the soil and make sure that the harvest was good is the same way that as husbands, we have to do the same thing for our woman. And if you don't have really good preparation for that, then you can't really expect a good harvest. So that's what I would bring out. Kind of.
So now this lesson is called by its name. So you as a wife, right? So we're talking the physical. So you wives out here, right? You gain a husband, right? You become now his possession. And you have to now be obedient unto your husband, right? But then yet you allow the world to try to trick you into thinking that, oh, I don't need to take his name to gain the protection. I don't need to um, move in the way he wants me to move as his wife. I don't need this. I don't need that because I'm my own woman. I'm independent. I'm this. I'm that. Sis, why you get married? Because it don't seem as if you want to be led. It doesn't seems like you want to be protected. You want to be loved. You want to become someone's equal, right? You would never see me trying to say, "Hey, I'm equal to a woman." I can't do all the functions a woman can do.
Right.
You understand? That's not my goal to be equal with y'all.
Right.
Women get the most leeway in this world, right? But yet I can't wish to be a woman to get leeway like how most women get leeway. I have to be happy with what I am and figure out how to live as a man, right? So now it brings me to my next video, right? So now when you marry a man, right, you have a baby for that man, right? So now that heritage and that lineage is very important because now if you have a son, then that's that man's firstborn, right? So let's look at this video real quick, and then we'll get into more into this discussion, right? So let me gear it up real quick. I'll turn the sound on from there. Let's, just give it a second. Hey, Howard, when I play these videos, do you hear an echo of the video?
Nah, I don't.
Okay, it's clear, right? Okay, fine.
Yeah, it's clear. Yeah.
I don't know why the video ain't playing now. Let's try it again. All right, I might have to use another means to play this video because it looks like my computer isn't acting right. All right. So we'll have to listen to it without video. I'll just have the audio play. Just give me 1 second. All right. Oh, that's definitely not the video. Slock it. All right, there you go.
I'm giving their kids their last name. Yeah. So when they said, yo, if my woman ain't giving my last name, I'm not looking after that you. That's not my child. Yeah? That's not my child.
You have been giving. You say things that don't make sense.
No, it makes no sense.
Listen,
you don't understand me. He would do that. He would do that. Your last name, your last name is obviously that respect here. The fact that you're not doing that, you don't acknowledge me as a person. So how do you acknowledge me when it comes to money? The child though. No. That woman needs to put her. You say, man, I work on emotion. This is someone. Listen, it was bad. The youth that was hosting the room, man.
Oh, actually, it looks like the video is playing. Let me see if I can get it to go again, so we can see the video too. Nope, it looks like I messed it up again.
Yeah. I guess to keep the crowd going. It'd be funny to me when Hamites be like Mooney.
They were talking about giving their kids their last name.
Yeah.
Oh, I think my computer can't handle all this stuff, man. All right, I'm gonna just continue playing the end of it, and then we'll get into it.
He went around in circles, yeah? He started asking all the girls what they was talking about giving their.
So this whole video is about if you're married to a woman and you're having a child, right? It's about the heritage of that child. A woman not giving the last name of her husband to her child, right? Because now in this day and age, right, women have options now to not give the last name of their husband to their child, right? Through certain acts and rights and laws, whatever, right? So now it's crazy to know that women actually exercise that right. Like how is it that you are allowed to take away the heritage of your husband's child from them, now to let them go in confusion? Why is dad's name this and my name is this, right? And let's not even talk about the hyphenations, right? As a woman, if you married a man and you choose to hyphenate your name, you might as well not be married to that man at all. You know what I said? You know why I say that? It's because of that Matthew 6:24. What man can serve two masters? Right? Because you're basically saying you are your father and your husband at the same time. Which one are you serving? Let's ask that question. So for the people on, right? If a woman has two last names, which name does the woman serve? Her father's or her husband's? Right? Let's just get some class participation real quick. Because now, if you are a woman who says you have a husband, right? And this is not in any shape or form to, bash the sisters or whatever, stuff like that. But it's just the hypocrisy in it, right? Of hyphenating your name, naming it after your father and your husband. Is more or less a spit in the face, because now you're fully saying to your husband, you are not fully responsible for me. I don't fully trust you. I am not fully in your. I'm not here to fully follow you. Right. I am not truly one with you. Right. Let's get the book of Genesis chapter 2, King. Right. As the spirit moves on me. Right. Because now I'm thinking, Genesis chapter 2 verse
18. Is 18?
21.
Okay, con.
Today. Yeah, 21. That's what I want.
Okay, con.
Right? But you're basically saying that I am not fully committed to you. The Most High, like I said, when I was building up to this, the Most High is looking for obedience. He gave us his name. He did not give us multiple names. He did not give us the name of the Most High and Baal Peor, right? He didn't give us his name and Pharaoh's name. You understand? Because when he came to take us up out of Egypt, he didn't say, "Oh, but y'all is pharaohs, but y'all could also have some part of my name back." No, he did not do that. You understand? We are to have one name and follow one God. When you read the Shema, it says, "Hear ye, O Israel, the Lord our God is one God. He ain't multiple gods. He ain't no Trinity, right? Like the sisters just say, that's one foot in and one foot out." I can say it better than myself. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Honestly, even before I was in the truth, this is something that irked me because I could not see the sense in it, right? Go ahead and read that Genesis real quick, okay? Let's get that one.
Con. Genesis chapter 2 and verse 21. And the Lord caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept and took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof.
Mhm.
And the rib which the Lord God had taken from man made he a woman and brought her unto the man.
Stop. So this rib he took from Adam, right? He took a part of him, right? We know this is an analogy, but he took part of him. Basically, this allegory is basically saying that a woman should be like literally like a man, like well, not like a man, but like that man that she's with. Like you are a piece of him. So how is it now that the man name? So for example, the man's name is A, right? But then you want to be named. So no, let's say it like this: the man's name is C, but you want to be named BC. How does that make sense? The man don't have no B in his name. You know what I'm saying? He has no B in his name. So why is it now when people see you, you're Miss BC, but you say you married to Mr. C? How does that make sense? When I see you, I don't see him. So how does that make sense? The Most High did not give us two names. He gave us one because he's one Lord. So why is it why are we now, right? And sorry, sisters, why are y'all taking it upon yourselves to try to keep your father's house alive? Your father should have a son. He does that. Right? And the Most High blesses him to have a son. He does that. He keeps the father's name alive, not you. That is not your place. You understand? So I would say this, especially the brothers. If she want to keep two names, she gonna have to find some. Tell her to find somewhere else to go because that ain't how that's supposed to be going here. Because that's saying that you're not choosing me. You're not loyal to me, right? That means that you are willing to leave at any moment, right? When it doesn't suit you, oh, let's drop the last name and go right back to what I used to be, right? Because like the sisters say, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, right? The sisters say that's basically the woman trying to become the Most High by not giving the son the father's name. Kind, right? You going against the order of things, right? In the book of First Corinthians, what chapter was it? 7 and 14? No, 11 and what's the scripture? Everything must be done decently in order. Is that First Corinthians?
1 Corinthians 14 and 33.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
It's 14. Yep. Right.
yeah,
All
yeah, I
things
got it.
done decently. Go ahead, bring it up.
1 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 33. For God is not the author of confusion. Salakia, you know what? I think it's what, 30.
No, that's at the end of the chapter. Go to the end of 14.
Let's see. Yeah, 40. Salakia. 1 Corinthians chapter 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 40. Let all things be done decently and in order.
That's right. All things, not some things. All things. Right. So, like I said, Sister Asanai, she's bringing up some mighty points, right? Because this is like that's the perversion of the world that's in our women right now, right? It ain't really our women itself. It's the perversion that our women go through, right? Because all of this, you want to be independent, you want to be this, you want to be that, you want to be your own woman. You don't need a man. That mentality, right? So they always feel like, well, I guess I can't forget my father's name. I gotta make sure my father's name is still here. But then watch the crazy thing, King. Hey y'all dog. Watch this. Y'all have a baby, right? She has so you met her with a hyphenated name, right? So her name was hyphenated before you met her, right? So now she can have 3 last names. Isn't that crazy?
Hey, but you know what? Crazy part is, I think it should be recorded like that because that way you know, okay, she been with this man, been with that man, been with this man.
No.
If she gonna be doing all that,
Nah, King. So her mom and her dad, her mom decided to hyphenate her name. Watch this. Watch how the plot thickens. Her mom decided to hyphenate her daddy name, right? Watch this now. So, and her mom ended up tricking her daddy into giving her the last name that the mom took on. So the daddy singled out with his own last name, and they got their own names. They got the same last names, right? The mother and the daughter. Now, the daughter find you, and then you marry her. She got 3 because she ain't trying to drop her mother name. They ain't her daddy name. That's her mother name. Right. Name.
if I can add, if literally within our nation, if we marked our sisters like that, like, okay, well, every man that she got took by, she had to have recorded onto her name. Brothers probably wouldn't even deal with certain women. They're like, you got a what? You got 5 names? Oh no, my name is not about to be the 6th name. Like, nah, that'd be crazy. But then, if I may pull a precept for another point, 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 7 says, for a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and glory of Yahweh, but the woman is the glory of the man. So it's like, how you gonna try to be a glory of like 2 different men? That's not even gonna make sense. You got to be the glory of one man.
Well, King, I haven't get to the Grammy. I haven't get to the exciting part yet. This gets even deeper. We just talking about the married part of it. You talking about the married part of it. Watch when we ain't talking about the ones who married. Watch that. So now let's finish this up though. Let's finish this up. Because I said, in the beginning I said this is a build up. This is the points that I'm trying to bring up, right? Because the hypocrisy that we have within our marriage as a community, right, as a nation, we have to be able to cast away this heritage of the world that the world put on our women and say, hey, this is your Lord. You take his name. You come under his protection. You are his wife. You give birth to his children. You provide nourishment and comfort to his family, right? these are part of the duties that you do. It's like you. And then in turn, he gives you that love, that respect, that appreciation, that nurturing, that teaching, right? That covering. But see, one thing that our women are lacking in is that humility.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
are they are filled with pride.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I bring this lesson, okay, because I am talking, I ain't saying nothing that I've never went through because it happened to me, and I wasn't going for it. Still ain't going for it. You understand? So you told me you want to hyphenate. You can hyphenate over depth. You ain't gonna hyphenate my name. You understand? Because my child is gonna grow up knowing that we all were one unit, right? If I got a girl, she have my last name. If I have a boy, definitely if I have a boy, he has my last name. You understand? Because he has to understand where he came from, right? I gave the seed for my woman or my wife to nurture and bring it up. So and when the seed comes forth, right? I she's brought forth something like unto myself because it's a part of me, right? It's the life that lives within me, right? But they got it misconstrued now because now the women think that they bring life. You might birth life, you birth it, yes, but you don't bring life. We have the male has the life inside of his body that he passes to the woman to take care of, right? I mean that's basic biology, right? We have the seed. Our seed is alive, right? Our seed could sit in our bodies dormant for years, right? Whereas a woman has her eggs in her body and they have to shed every 28 days, right? I said, now is she going, boy? Say what? Like the woman that had 7 husbands and Yahweh Shai confronted her, right? Khan, right? The Samaritan woman, Khan, Khan, gotta be humble before all things. That's Khan. That's the truth, right? So like when you when you're moving when you're moving in a mindset of me, right? As a woman, me first, me everything. The Most High doesn't recognize that, right? Get the book of Genesis chapter 3, verse 16, okay? Right? Because now the Most High, like I said, when we read in Genesis 2, he formed the woman from the man's rib. So the woman automatically is supposed to be part of him, right? That's just the connection or how close they supposed to be. When I see her, I see me, and when she see me, she sees her. But I can't see you if you got two last names. If you don't want to be called by my name, how could I see me? That's the same way the Most High look at us. How could I call you by my name, and yet you over here with Baal Peor running amok? You right there making a bronze bull or bronze calf or whatever, or golden calf, sorry. How you over here and I just tell you you can't worship no idols and you can't make no graven images, but then yet that's the first thing you do after I turn my back. That's why the scriptures say we are a wicked generation, right? Go ahead, read that Genesis 3 and 16, okay?
Genesis chapter 3 and verse 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee.
Say that last part again.
And he shall rule over thee.
And I said, and I'm making this point with no pride in my heart. Because heavy is the head that wear the crown. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. You think it ain't easy being a man? It easy how though?
Lie to the eye.
Every day I walk up my door, I try to figure out how not to die. You understand? Every day I walk up my door, I am trying to figure out how to come back home. I have to navigate my speech so that I can come back home. I gotta make sure that I'm alert at all times to come back home. It ain't easy to be us. So don't get tripped up over the scripture saying the man shall rule over his wife. You understand? The Most High said that for a reason. So when you go against what the Most High is saying, that means that you're saying that you're smarter than him.
Right.
And you know the reason why you were created better than him. And you start to operate outside of your purpose.
Right.
I have a purpose, and you have a purpose. We're supposed to build a family. I'm supposed to protect, provide. You're supposed to cherish and nurture the kids while I'm protecting you, right? Because you could also, you as the mother also protect the kids. But me protecting you, I'm protecting everybody, right? So now, well, it's just on it tonight. He shall rule over thee. Like that's the point. That is the point. You got any precepts, King?
Let me think.
If not, we can give you.
Nah.
All right, kind. So now, you got a precept. Proverbs 31 and 3. What that say?
Romans 31 and
Proverbs.
Proverbs 31. Okay, I'm about to say, I don't think that.
You know, we
31 and 3.
try to be interactive here, and we try to be interactive here at AHOS. You know what I mean?
Proverbs chapter 31 and verse 3. Give not thy strength unto woman, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings.
Right? Don't, as a man, you don't give your way unto a woman, right? Because we go to jump in Sirach. Sirach basically read the act in chapter 25, right? So a woman can make a king look like a fool if he gives his way unto her. You understand? Sorry, if she gives her way unto him. If she get mad, he'll try to make himself a fool to make her happy. You know what I mean? Here's the thing. As a woman, you are going to be called by your husband's name. As a man and a husband, you're not going to be called by your wife's name. You know, it's crazy that they have now women who be talking about the husband being named after her. That the husband takes the wife's last name. Yes.
That's crazy.
You got women out there that wants her husband to take her last name.
That's
like
crazy.
So, for example, if a woman was rich, right? Like say Oprah Winfrey rich, she built up a legacy, but she don't want to change her name, so she'll say, "Hey, why don't you take my name?" Right? So that I don't have to change nothing. I don't have to go through all this, you know, legal tape to make sure all my assets are safe.
It's crazy.
No, that's reality. That's reality right now, right? Because they don't want to change their names so that they don't lose whatever businesses that they have or lose any rights because their name has changed. They don't want to go through the paperwork to change all the names that they have on their businesses or whatever to your name. You know another play. You know what another play is? They tell you to do that so that legally, it's registered to their name, their actual given name. You see what I'm saying? So if they drop you, they can still get to retain all the businesses that they have. But if she took your name, guess who get a part of it? Guess who get a part of it?
Yeah, you.
You know, share. So I tell you this, man could build an empire. Huh? A man could build an empire, right? And he could find a woman after the empire is built. But in this day's world, she could come in there and take off, and she ain't even do nothing. All she do is sit down and look pretty. She ain't even do nothing. Look at all these athletes that marrying these women, and then they breaking up in a year time, and they basically get half of their money and still get supported. So they got half the money, and the man still pay them alimony. And they've been married only for a year and a half. Crazy, right?
Super.
So now, but this is a perversion done within Israel that I just wanted to speak on, right? Now, I probably would want to do an even more in-depth lesson on this, because this is a perversion. This is not biblical. This is not the way the Most High has told us to move, right? Because look at this, right? Let's go to Numbers chapter 27, verse 16, right?
Okay, kind of. Yeah, this is one of my favorite precepts.
Mm-hmm. Because now we live in a world where everyone think everybody equal. This is an egalitarian type of society we live in now, right? Everybody has the same status. Not according to God. Everybody got their place.
Kind of.
So what that say? You there, King?
Kind of.
Go ahead.
Numbers chapter 27 and verse 16. Let the Lord, the God of the spirits of all flesh, set a man over the congregation.
Woman.
Set a man over the congregation.
A transformer.
Set a man over the congregation.
A man. Right? So we're over the congregation. We're also over the home. Right? Ain't no way around it. Right? So that's that. So I have one more video that I wanted to share. Right? Hopefully this one plays. Let me see. Let's try this. I think it's this one here. And is it this one? Yeah, I think it's this one. Yep.
Of course, I love you, baby.
Then why, when we got married, you didn't take my last name? Like, we even talked about you hyphenating your last name. I mean, you didn't even do that.
Baby. A brother.
Okay, what does that have to do with my last name? Like, you could have proven to the world that you're actually my wife. You don't even have a ring on.
So this might be a parody, right? But this is real life though. You love women who will marry you and don't even take your name at all. They just stay with their maiden name. He was, and he even bent his what you call it? what's it called? He bent himself to say, why don't you just even why don't you just hyphenate it then? Since you don't want to fully change your name, hyphenate it. Just tack my name on there. I'll be okay with that. He mended his ways for his wife.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, she don't wear a ring. Like, but then she got a whole baby. So guess what that baby gonna get named after?
The
Exactly.
grandfather. It's crazy.
One of the most craziest things I've ever heard is a woman telling me that she wants to name her son after her father because her father wasn't able to have a son. What that got to do with the man? What does that got to do with that man? You're gonna take away that man's son because your father couldn't have a son. No one can serve two masters. Because right there, when you said that to that man, you basically said you hated him.
Right.
You wanted to see if he would amend his ways for you. So
Crazy.
it is crazy, gang. But like that's what's happening out here, right? So this lesson wasn't supposed to be that long, right? I think we're 2 hours in. So
Con.
just think about these things, right? Especially sisters, right? If you're in this truth and you want to take and you want to find not find yourself, but when a husband finds you, right? You supposed to overwhelmingly give yourself to him, right? Your job is to be obedient to your husband, loyal to your husband. Um, you show you show your husband humility, right? You do all the things that's supposed to benefit your husband, and likewise, husbands, you're supposed to love your wives, right? Scripture always say, like Christ loved the church, right? That's that Ephesians 5:25, right? But we're commanded to also be leaders in our homes. We're also commanded to teach in our homes. We're also commanded to cherish our wives in our homes, right? So we can't also forsake our responsibilities. But at the same time, when things get hard within the marriage, ladies, you necessarily can't leave your husbands. Y'all got to work that out. Y'all got to go through fasting and prayer. Y'all got to, you know, present your issues before the Lord as a couple, as rib, flesh of my flesh and blood of my blood. You have to present yourselves as a living sacrifice and be willing to uh, humble yourselves in front of the Most High so that He can make situations right. Because remember, if both of y'all are coming to serve the Lord, and y'all have issues in your marriage, that's that fire that you got to go through to become acceptable unto Him. So Yahweh, you hear me?
No, kind of Salakia, you had broke up. Say what you said one more time.
Action slow. Let me get Daniel 7:18.
Okay, got you. Okay,
Close.
okay, con. Daniel chapter 7 and verse 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. By Hashem HaMashiach Yahushua.
So,
Con.
so like this lesson is just a food for thought, right? Ladies, don't disrespect your husband by not taking his name. Do not do that because that shows that you don't care, love, consider him, nothing. you're marrying him for nothing at this point, right? Or better yet, you're marrying him for something, but the something that you're marrying him for is in the same reason why he's marrying you, right?
Right.
So, and then on the flip side, husband, love your wives. Don't treat them like dirt. Don't treat them like garbage. They are there to help. They're there to love you. They're there to nurture you too and cherish you, right? And then they're also there to, ensure that you have seed on this earth. You understand? So remember these things, right? Make me go forward in our life. You got something to say, King? I thought you were about to say something. If you don't got nothing, that's cool.
Oh no, lie. I mean, I can't add something. Something just jumped to my mind.
if it's on the top of your mind, let it out.
Okay, Con, for sisters who are keeping the commandments or whatnot, and the same way that you would want the Most High to be dealing with, your potential husband or the man that you're interested in, the same way that you want certainty in him is the same way that you have to reflect certainty within yourself for him as well. And being defiant towards him, is not really going to prove or show that the Most High is even dealing with you. So that certainty can definitely be solidified in you being shamefaced, humble, exuding humility, being prudent, diligent, supportive, and being an asset to your potential husband, or your husband that you're already married to. And then on top of that, you want to maintain that for sure, because I wouldn't say it's easy to go ahead and do those things, but it's much more harder to maintain those things for sure. Like it's easy to become a rib, but then it's extremely harder to remain a rib. If that makes any sense.
Here's the thing, King. A rib is a woman who cares and considers her husband. Right? Like Kenneth was saying, do not disrespect your husband. A rib is someone who doesn't do that, right? Because remember, Genesis 2 said he pulled his Eve from Adam's rib, right? So to be a rib, that means you have to align with me already.
Right.
You feel me? You have women out here who married to men who ain't got the right to be called a rib. To be honest, the way they don't have the right to be called a rib. You know what I'm saying? In a sense, they a situationship at this point because they don't embody what it is to be a rib, and they insult actual women who are there being ribs, right? So, this is my lesson. I hope you guys enjoyed it, right? I give all praise and honor to the Most High. So, I see Brother Knox in the background. I don't know if you have any announcements, King? If you don't, I'll say this then. I am Officer Benyamia, and this is
Soldier Yahweh Dawa.
right. And we're AHOS, and we will be here until the kingdom manifests. That's what we do. All right, family. So we'll see you until next time. Tune in for Saturday morning brew tomorrow. Right, got the brothers up there. I may just jump up there too. Right. Then Monday we got Milk Mondays. Following Monday. All right, and then another Focus Friday. Right, Friday night Focus lock it, and then we do it all over again. So thank you for guys for tuning in, and I will bid you all a hearty shalom. Well, hold on. I gotta set the video first. 1 second. Gotta do the outro. Which I can't find. There you go. Okay. So again, we bid you a shalom.
This is not a test.
Black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, 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 black music, black music, black music, black music.